Fat loss for busy dads. What actually works? Guys, welcome back to another video. And again, trying something a little bit new, talking to the camera for a sort of prolonged period of time and just giving you some insights into some topics that I think that you guys will find useful, that you can actually take away and implement into your lives. Guys, if you like this style of content, if you like the YouTube channel and the stuff that I'm putting out, please like, subscribe and comment on my videos so I know the correct type of thing to put out to you guys. And in today's topic, I want to cover fat loss for busy dads, what actually works. So 2 years ago, our son was born and it completely changed my life. Okay, I was a guy that was really into sort of training. I still am into training, but what I mean by that is I could train 4 or 5 times a week, no issue, spend as much time as I wanted in the gym and things like that. And as soon as you get this little human come along, it turns your life upside down. It kind of changes those routines and habits and behaviors that you once had, and you have to be a little bit more practical with your time. Okay, so I wanted to create this video of like practical fat loss strategies for dads. It doesn't have to be a case of I'm a dad now, I have to accept that I've got a dad bod and this is all that I've got to look forward to now, because there is a way to actually make changes. And the thing is, look, you're not lazy, you're just stretched a little bit thin, and we can easily fix that, okay? So here's some of the problems that I see dads facing. A lack of time, low energy, weekend blowouts, and family meals. Okay, so this is what I see a lot of the dads that I work with struggle with when they come into the program. So I'm going to give you solutions for each of these things over here and how you can manage it as a busy dad or a busy parent for that matter. It's not specific to dads. Mums, if you're watching this, you can also implement this as well. It's for any busy parent, really. Okay, so we've got a lack of time. We're low on energy. We're having weekend blowouts and family meals are a little bit all over the place. And you don't really know how to incorporate that into a structure of a program to now go and lose weight. Okay, so the first thing is let's address a lack of time and a lack of energy. So the solution, one training plan for home or gym. Okay, so training wise, we want to figure out where we're training. Firstly, okay, where are you going to be training? Is it going to be home or gym? Be realistic with yourself. Ask this question. If I'm going to go to the gym, am I going to get to the gym? Consider travel time as well, okay? If you're considering joining a gym, the best gym is not the one with the fanciest equipment or the fanciest bells and whistles or anything like that. The best gym is the one that is closest to your home so that you can reduce the friction it takes to get there. If you've got to travel 20 minutes to get to the gym, what's the likelihood of you turning up? It's going to be low because you're going to tell yourself, oh, fucking hell, it's going to be 20 minutes to get there, 20 minutes to get back, 60-minute workout. That's almost 2 hours out of my day. I can't do that. 5-minute walk, you're laughing. You're going to turn up, 5-minute walk there, 45-minute workout, 5-minute walk back, all done within an hour. Pick the gym that is closest to your place that you live, okay? Or workplace, even if you train like, around work, maybe something close to work. But be realistic with yourself. Where are you going to train, home or gym? Figure that out first. Then what we want to figure out is how many times per week can you realistically commit to this training program? I don't want you to think like the old you, okay? The old you in your 20s would have done 4 to 5 times a week, easy, no issue, because there was no wife, kids, other shit going on basically, okay? Now you're in a completely different chapter of your life. So what is realistic for you to train week in, week out, without fail for the rest of your life? In your busiest of weeks, you can still get this done. What's a realistic number? For most people, it's anywhere between 2 to 3 times per week, okay? So now we figured out how many times we can train. We figured out where we want to train. What's a realistic session time for yourself? Okay, figure that out. I would say for most people, you want anywhere between 35 and 40 minutes, no longer than that. You don't need to be spending longer than that. If you are, probably not training intensely enough, procrastinating, spending way too much time resting, okay? 35 to 40 minutes of focused real work in a training session is what the majority of average people need 2 to 3 times per week. Okay, so we figured out where you're training, we figured out how many times per week you're training, we figured out how long your sessions are going to take. The next thing that you need to do as a busy parent is slot that into your week. Which time gaps, Monday to Friday, do they fit into? Okay. Are we someone that's going to do morning training or afternoon training? And actually for parents, the best time to train is either early morning when everyone's asleep, or in the afternoon when everyone's at work, you're working from home, or you've got a gym near work and things like that you can slip out to in a lunch break. Those are the best times to train. Forget the evening, because you're just going to put it off. Okay, you're going to tell yourself that you'll go, but it won't happen because the kids are home, then you've got to sort X, Y, and Z out, and you just won't do it. So I would say early mornings or in the afternoon. Okay, if you're doing early mornings, you guys can rotate. So if you're a couple, rotate it. Okay, husband does Mondays, wife does Tuesdays, husband does Wednesdays, wife does Thursdays, husband does Fridays, wife does Saturdays, for example. And then you just sort of shuffle it around, right? You then help each other out. One stays at home with the kids, the other one goes off, and you sort of chop and change it like that. Let's say you both do lunchtime, then hey, look, kids are at nursery, kids are at school, at the in-laws, wherever they are. You can then go off to the gym on your lunch break together, for example. Okay, so that's how we do that. Put that in the diary, lock that in, make sure you turn up to it like a meeting. Okay, you wouldn't sort of say to your doctor, oh, you know what, I'll come once I finish this bit of work. If the doctor's told you to be there at 3 p.m. on Monday afternoon, you're going to be there at 3 p.m. on Monday afternoon. Work's still going to be sitting for you when you get back. Treat these like mini appointments with yourself. Initially, it may feel like you're taking time away from work, shit's going to hit the fan, oh, it's going to eat into a lot of my time. But actually what you'll find is training makes you more productive. It gives you more energy. It gives you more clarity. And once you get into a good rhythm of it, the stuff that you do is more productive, and you do it without procrastinating. Okay? So that's how we're going to get our training in. The second solution for you guys is family meals without cooking separate things. Okay? And the easiest way to do this is control breakfast and lunch in a certain way. So what I would suggest you do is think of 2 breakfast options and 3 lunch options that you rotate through the week. Same thing. Look, it's busy. Okay, the mornings are busy. You're dropping kids off. You're logging into work. Just eat sort of 2 similar things that you rotate for that variety. Same with lunch. You got 20 minutes in between a meeting. You just want to get it in you and get you going. Create a rotation of 3 different options that you rotate through Monday to Friday. Then, by doing these standardized meals that are a little bit more aligned to your goals, you can make way for this larger family meal. So if you're eating pasta as a family, if you're having a jacket potato as your family, if you're having rotli shark, if you're having anything like that, you can eat these things, but you just have to tailor them towards your goals. Maybe it means that, you know what, if you're making a pasta for the family, you hold off on the garlic bread and chop yourself a side salad. Okay, it may mean that if the in-laws have dropped around some traditional food like chapatis and a curry, it might just mean that, look, if you eat eggs just to get your protein in, you have 2 eggs on the side with it. Okay, or it might mean adding a Greek yogurt to it, or it might mean skipping on one chapati and having a little bit of salad on the side. We can still keep these family meals in, but there's only some tweaks that we need to make to them, to portions, to protein content, and to veg on the side to make sure that it's aligned to your goals. This is the easiest way to do things without being one of these people who's now cooking a meal for the partner, for the kids, and for themselves. It may work in the short term while you're motivated, but eventually what I've seen people do is they hit a roadblock, whether that's a few weeks in, whether that's 3 weeks in, whether that's 3 months in, whether that's 6 months in, where they just can't be asked to do it. And guess what happens? They end up back at square one. They end up back with their old habits. Okay? So that's what we want to do. The third solution is walking. Walking is a game changer. You don't need to run. 8 to 10,000 steps per day changes everything. Okay? Majority of you nowadays will be working desk-based jobs, sedentary jobs. The easiest way to boost fat loss is to try and get your step count up throughout the day. On drop-offs, a loop around the block. Okay, on pickups, a loop around the block. Mid-afternoon, go for a walk. Walk and talk if you can. If you've got calls that you can take where you don't need to be sort of showing your face on camera, listen to it and just walk around. Okay, the biggest investment that is sort of paid back like 10x, if not more, is investing on those walking pads. They are a game changer. They're pretty inexpensive as well. You can pick one around for $100, and it allows you to walk throughout the day. If you're doing those type of calls and tasks where you don't really need to be showing your face, you don't really need to be sort of talking on it, you just need to be listening in, you can just walk, and it's amazing. So that is another one. Walk more. These are literally some of the things that you can go away and implement right now that will start moving the needle forward for you, especially if you're a busy parent. These are things that I've started implementing now as well. Gone are the days of 4 to 5 workouts a week where I was spending an hour and a half in the gym. They're short, snappy, booked in, okay? Gone are the days where I'd allow my family to eat whatever they want while mum and dad are doing what they want and I'm cooking my own separate healthy meal. Now I've got my wife and my child to think about, and we want to be setting good habits for him and him seeing what we're eating and how it's healthy so he can do the same thing. So we're all eating family dinners. Finally, walking, okay? It will clear your head, it will make you more productive, and it will boost your fat loss. Guys, thank you for listening to this video. If you found it useful, drop me a comment, hit the subscribe button, and give me a thumbs up on it if you liked it. Thank you.